welcome to Tarot Sherpa. I'm Christine, and today I will be reading tarot to you from the Tarot of Oppositions by Pierre Lucchese and Michelle Deloisio. So for today's reading, I'm going to use a spread that Pierre Lucchese put in the guidebook, Tarot of Oppositions here. And this is called the Interpreting Light and Shadow spread. So this is a really good spread for introspection. It is a 6-card spread, and as the book suggests, as I was shuffling this between making the review for this video, which I will put a link for in the description box below, and actually filming this, I did shuffle this a number of times, inverting the cards with each shuffle, or half the deck with each shuffle, so that there's going to be some positive cards, there's going to be some negative cards, but we're going to do Interpreting Light and Shadow. Just for whoever reading, maybe this resonates with you, or maybe you just wanted to see how the Tarot of Oppositions cards work in a reading. Either way is great, and I'm glad you're here. Just like to give it a little bit of extra, just so that you know that I shuffled the cards and didn't just make a contrived mess. Okay, so I will cut for us. And we'll just go like that. All right, so the first card we're going to deal out is the past. Let's look at the table here. Yeah, the past. And for us, the past is the Four of Wands in reverse. So Four of Wands in reverse, we're kind of thinking about something that might be indicative of a breakup, possibly a very unpleasant breakup, a separation. It could be personal life. It could mean anything from divorce, or perhaps you and a business partner decided to part ways and split the business, or, the project that you were working on at work got broken down, and other people are managing it now. Anything that would indicate something in the past that was a sundering of ways. Okay. So past, it could this doesn't even have to be like the recent past. This can be the distant past. This can even be going back to a person's childhood when it wasn't your breakup, but perhaps it was a parent or another figure that was prominent in your life had a breakup, and that caused a dissolution of a relationship. You know, just kind of a broad thing, but let's see if we can narrow it down. So let's look at card number 2, and card number 2 is going to be the problem. And we have Justice in reverse here. So you can look at this breakup, and the problem with it is that you do not feel that justice was served. You do not feel that this was fair. Perhaps there was something legal about it. Perhaps the business partner or one person in the business or personal relationship was a little underhanded, and they maybe were able to, as you feel, kind of get one over on you, or there's a certain amount of defeat here. Let's see, how do we address this? How do we address this feeling of defeat? This is very difficult feeling here. So, card 3, resources. 5 of Wands in reverse. So 5 of Wands upright is usually meaning some sort of challenge, some kind of training that makes difficult but makes you better. And this has just been difficult for difficulty's sake. This has been a little bit harsh, hard, mean-spirited. What gives you energy though is the meaning of the position of this card. So I think what this is saying is perhaps the adrenaline that you're getting from the sense of injustice and unfairness is perhaps energizing you, and depending on what you do with that energy, if it's prompting you to take positive action, that's great. But if it's prompting you to bitterness, hatred, anger, that's not great. That is going to be personally destructive to you. So let's see where we're going in the future. The Chariot, not in a good direction. Everything, like I said, I went up and down with these, and everything is looking pretty rough in this scenario so far. Because now we have the Chariot in reverse, and it's this particular Chariot. This guy's getting arrows, either arrows fired at him or spears thrown at him, if you look closely. So you feel like you're trying to forge ahead, but things are getting shot at you all around. He's getting arrows here, spears here, arrows here. This is a difficult sundering, and it doesn't look like it's getting any better with the actions that are being taken right now. See, that's the thing about tarot. Here, let's look at each other. That's the thing about tarot. So tarot doesn't necessarily tell you a set in stone future. It tells you options of what can happen in a certain course of action. We all have free will in which we can take different actions and then have a different outcome. So when we're looking at, especially this Five of Wands, of what's energizing you right now is really a lot of anger. And what that's getting you is shots fired at you. So I would kind of take that as a little bit of a warning. If you don't want to get shot at, let go of your anger. Maybe you have a very, very good reason to be angry. This Justice inverted could be a very good reason to be angry. It could be. And I'm not going to tell you that it's not, because I don't know what your situation is, but you obviously feel you have a good reason to be angry. But just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. Used to tell my children that just because you can doesn't mean you should. Yeah, you can go break that, but should you? Yeah, you can go climb that, but should you? Sometimes climbing to the top of the slide's a big triumph. Great, do it. Sometimes breaking a limb off a tree just because you can, no. Really? You need to be destructive. No. So don't destroy yourself over this. And that's what anger does. Anger is self-destructive. All right, moving on with the reading. So cards 5 and 6. We're going to look at cards 5 and 6, your inner growth and your outer growth. And what we're going to do, inner growth, we're going to talk about both sides of this card, the positive and negative of the Fool. Okay, so inner growth, I see the Fool coming up in this upright position as a positive for you. Because yes, you have this really unpleasant situation of having your foundations stripped away. And it doesn't feel fair, and you are angry, and you don't know where you're going, but you feel like you're being fired at all angles. Inner growth, though. Inner growth. Way to progress. The Fool is moving out in a sense of optimism, in a sense of innocence. Yeah, you could be running along angrily and just jump off the cliff. Or you could step out in a sense of being prepared to let go and get over what this unpleasantness that this happened to you. You can get over the sense of injustice. He can pack up. The little Fool, he's got his pack and is moving forward. And it's your choice. You can move forward, or you can in positivity, or you can move forward in angry, but you can't stay where you are. So that's your inner growth. Let's look at outer growth. The Emperor. The Emperor in reverse. Again, he's kind of going along the outer growth. What people are going to see is an angry, bitter, authoritarian jackass. That is what they're going to see. Is that what you want people to see? Is that what you want people to see of you? Because what you have inside you is this capacity to move on. You have this capacity to let go. You can do that. And as I was saying before, just because you can doesn't mean you should. In this case, yeah, it does. It does mean that you can climb to the top of the ladder and see over this mountain, this hill of of unpleasantness. Or if you dwell in your anger, you could just be the emperor in reverse, which is somebody who is inflexible, authoritarian, uh, dictatorial, egotistical. I mean, negative, all the negative of the emperor is right there. What do you want people to see? What do you want your legacy in this situation to be? What do you want people to come out? Because while this may be one relationship that is problematic for you, there are other relationships in your world, other colleagues, other friends that are like, man, that person used to be a great person, but whew, once they went through that, they didn't want to talk to anybody. They turned into a jerk. I can't even stand to be around them. No wonder that happened to them. What do you want? What do you want to get out of this experience? You may just want to be getting out of the experience. I mean, you may be like, I can't with this anymore. And that's fine. Take this fool. In this case, be the fool. Just shake it off as best you can and keep shaking it off and keep shaking it off and keep shaking it off and move forward without all of this. Because if you allow your anger to rule you, you will damage every other relationship in your world. Okay? Because nothing is in isolation. And that's another thing that we learned from tarot. There is nothing in isolation. There is always a holistic point of view. So yeah, an ugly, unjust breakup. Yes, you can be angry. That is your choice. Or you can let it go. And what you do with this anger, with this sense of injustice, with this sense of being under fire, can you let it go? Can you make amends? Maybe you can't make amends with this person, but maybe you can make amends with the other people in your life of saying, hey, I was going through this. I'm sorry if it affected my relationship with you. Can we move on and still be friends, still be coworkers, still be colleagues, still be neighbors, whatever. So, so unpleasant situation, and you certainly have my empathy for that, but don't give it boundaries. Don't let it make your other relationships unpleasant as well. Yeah, you want to learn from it. You don't want other people to take advantage of you the way that this situation did. But you can keep the lesson without keeping the pain. And a lot of people don't realize that. Keep the lesson, let go of the pain. Keep the lesson, move forward. Okay? That is Auntie Christine's advice for the day. I hope it helped you. If you like this video, please hit like. If you like this type of content, please subscribe. I will be doing more videos with tarot views and corresponding tarot readings to go with. And I hope you will join me there. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.